Several weeks ago, I put on Ram tailgate letters on my Dodge, and then a week or two ago, the letters came off. I got these pictures in a text message from my wife. We had a bad storm come through Texas, and I can't believe this. This is liquid nails. It just didn't adhere correctly, and I'm thinking, oh my heck, look at this. Just kind of peeled right off. It's either a gel, almost liquid, nasty mess that I just peeled right off the letters and cleaned up off the tailgate pretty well. Just, it did not adhere. So do not use liquid nails. So I looked online, did some research. What could I do? I decided to go with a combination of 3M VHB tape, very high bond. And then I didn't want just that. I was talking to Defender One on one of my YouTube videos, and he was concerned that that stuff wouldn't hold either over time. And, you know, they're $200 worth of letters, so I could see the concern. I'm thinking, well, I don't want to just use two-sided tape. I'm thinking in conjunction with maybe a glue of some sort. I even asked his recommendation, and he shared a link to another vid about Loctite being a pretty good adhesive. So I was sold. Thank you, Defender One. I'm thinking, all right, how do I want to do this? Well, I'll put the tape on the outside on the back, and then on the inside I'll put the liquid glue, the Loctite, and I think that way I'd have the best of both worlds. I used an X-Acto knife here to cut off the excess. The blade isn't real sharp, and if you've worked with this kind of material, these 3M tapes or these two-sided tapes are kind of a mess. They just stick. And I did cut the piece off around, but then it kind of stuck out a little bit, so I thought, well, we just peel it off and shorten it up a little bit on either side with this other tool of mine. It's a rotary cutter. My wife uses it a lot for her sewing, and I use it to cut leather. I didn't want to use the rotary cutter up against the letter because it will cut the side. It's really sharp and it'll mar up that letter. So just kind of using them both together. Stuff is sticky. And if you handle it too much, you know, it's going to lose some of that ability to adhere. So you got to be really careful. But I cut the pieces just right. And again, I just had them just on the inside of the letter so that the tape didn't show once it was placed up against the tailgate. The measurement of the tape is almost an inch. I got it on Amazon. I think it was 15 or 20 bucks. I'll put a link in the description below. In hindsight, I might have used the thinner tape just to go around the edge. That way I would be able to use more glue, but either way. They do sell a ½ inch, I believe, and this, again, is almost an inch. So just going around the letters. My biggest concern, you know, still is ensuring that there's some kind of adhesion to that slotted letter, which is on one side, and then of course it has to adhere to that Raptor liner, which is not a smooth surface, and that's something 3M and a lot of these two-sided tapes, you know, you have to have a smooth surface on either side. So I was concerned, and I wanted to make sure that, you know, they stay. I mean, again, these letters are, you know, brand new, 200 bucks. So I was fortunate that they fell off in my driveway rather than driving down the road. And I took, for that M piece top, I just took one piece and cut it down the middle to make sure that I have a border of the tape all the way around. Kind of a jigsaw puzzle of sorts. There we go. And there's the R. Again, if you've ever messed with 3M tape, it's kind of difficult to pull off that backing with your fingers. I wouldn't say I have fat fingers, but they just don't seem to pull it up real easily. So that X-Acto knife really helped get in between the backing and the actual tape. You always hear the right tool for the job, and definitely a must, or a certain help anyway, get that backing off. All right, time for the Loctite. Again, I got this off of Amazon. I think it was $5 for a tube. I'll put a link in the description below. I wanted to make sure that I applied it liberally with that slotted area. It's going to sink down in. And if it overlaps a little bit on the 3M tape, I'm okay with that. Use that handle again to line it up. There was kind of a shadow from where they fell off, and I thought maybe I'll just put them right where the shadow is. But then I thought, I don't know, it may not be exact enough. So I, again, put the painter's tape up 8 inches below from the crease. I'm glad I did. One of the things I noticed with that 3M tape is there is not any give. When you use an adhesive that's liquid, you can kind of maybe slide it just a little bit. Not with a 3M tape. Once you put it up against the surface of that tailgate, it's on. So I was pretty careful just to make sure I lined it up and where I wanted it. Took my time. And I kind of like the fact that the 3M tape really sets it up. I don't have to hold it there for too long. It just really attaches. And so that'll give a chance for that Loctite to set up. You know, you really never know what you're going to do until you try it. So sometimes things don't go the way you plan. You just find another solution and move on. You can see a little bit of that liquid nails still adhering to the truck, but not much. And it's not going to show once I get that R on. Taking my time. Look at that, a little piece of that 3M tape. That's little bits and pieces all over the place. It's a mess. But it worked really well. I think this is it. Hopefully no more videos for tailgate letters. I'm hoping they're going to stay now permanently. Hope you enjoyed this fix. And like or subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Have a great one. Rushton Works.